think merchandise planning intersects with every other aspect of a retail business. It touches buying, production, supply chain, retail operations, finance. Everybody, all of those other functional areas are, I guess, customers of merchandise planning in a way. So if you think about merchandise planning as being, I guess, the custodians of stock, in the sense of how much to buy and all of those other decisions that flow from that. Working with the buyer or the category manager, merchandise planners will help put a framework around the buying decisions. So those might be things that will influence width and depth decisions in putting together their range. There'll be things around pricing and cost positions so that the margin is optimal. There'll be things that balance out that mix in the offer. So an absolute partner for those buying decisions. In terms of dealing with production, and that's often through the buyer as well, or directly with production, forecasts for production planning, which translates through into that whole supplier relationship. So, the spin-off from that can be better terms, better delivery on time and in full, better MOQs, minimum order quantities or supplier minimums, because if the suppliers are getting a better understanding of what that flow of stock is going to look like, what our demand is going to look like, what we need, then the buyer or the production team are in a better position to negotiate what suits the retailer the best, and give the supplier the best visibility on that so that they can have a reliable forecast and can plan their own production accordingly. And you just can form a better trust relationship, which is going to translate through to better service, and better costs and better terms going forward. So it's a win-win for everybody. And then, as the stock comes in, planning decisions will be taken into consideration by supply chain. They're going to be thinking about freight and how much stock they're moving around and what their DC capacity needs to be, and even DC rostering. So if they've got good, reliable understanding of what stock is coming into the business, they can plan for all of that. And similarly throughout into stores, store rostering, having a good understanding of when heavier flows of stock are coming through, and they can plan accordingly for that. So those planning decisions, and of course finance, how can we forget finance? Cash flow planning, just knowing where the business is heading in terms of that inventory investment and the profitability that the business is going to achieve from it. Finance are very much a customer of planning's information as well. So I really do think it sits at that intersection of so many parts of the business